Hey everyone, Super Saiyan Sanchez back here with another video, bringing you guys today the Android 17, the OG. So go ahead and put them on the 360 stand. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Zoom in for you guys. Too much of a zoom, sorry about that. Bring up the camera just a bit. Alright, so this is one of the older figures. It is not the event exclusive. This is the original. Just wanted to bring them to you guys. I have done the unboxing of the event exclusive figures, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go ahead and do an updated version of them on maybe later on. But right now I just want to show you guys the OG. This is the old packaging. I think it's pretty cool. I liked how I'm more of an OG collector myself. I started when the OGs were out. The newer boxes weren't out yet, and this is what I was used to. This is what I was accustomed to. But yeah, they were pretty cool figures. Like I just think they're pretty cool. Yeah. So let's go ahead and take them off the stand. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and open them up right now. And here he is. And I forgot to mention that he is pre-owned. Yeah. I can't remember exactly when I got him. I know I got him a little while back. He does have a little crack right here on the plastic casing, which is fine. It doesn't affect the figure. All right, let's take him out. And here he is out of the package. Go ahead and show you guys. Yeah, and he mostly had just a little bit of shading on his scarf, which is pretty cool. I don't really see too much. I don't see shading on his pants, honestly. But he's pretty cool. I like the bright colors. It looks like it's straight out of anime. It's pretty cool. Alright, just go ahead and put him on the stand, the rotating stand. You guys can check him out. See if he can stand by himself. Hopefully he can. Alright. There he is. Go ahead and zoom in. I'll zoom in just a little closer for you guys. Yeah, he looks great. Excuse me. He looks great out of the package. It looks like he has a little bit of shading on his neck. Yeah. Yeah, I can appreciate the little tear on the pants. Of course, the holster holding the gun looks pretty cool. Yeah, it looks pretty sick. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the accessories he does come with, which he does come with a lot. So let's go check that out. I'll go ahead and zoom in a bit. All right. Sorry about moving the camera, guys. All right. So this is the extra head. One of the extra heads he does come with. Of course, he has the more gridded face. Looks pretty cool. Man, and this figure came out, let me see, 2014, so I honestly think it was a great figure for the time. Like the printing was still pretty cool. Yeah, and I can appreciate the details in the eyes, yeah. But I understand how now they have a lot more little lines around the face. Well, yeah, still pretty cool. Let's go ahead and bring in this one. This other face, more of his little smirking face. It looks great, and for the time it was pretty good. You got the earring on. Of course, now you could do more. You know, like you can have like the Beast Deities Broly. You could see the earring. You can actually put the earring on. If anyone did see that review. All right, and these are the crossed arms that he does come with, which is pretty cool. Of course, there's more detail now. Like. Yeah, I wish that was, like I said, 2014, still pretty cool. And we'll make sure we try these on. These can't separate, which would be better if they could, but they can't. Like the 24,000 power level from Vegeta, it could separate, but yeah. All right, and this is the second scarf that he does come with. It would go this way. Yeah, look at that. It has shading on it. It's pretty cool. Now, like I said, nowadays, like all the newer figures don't really have shading, which sucks. but I can appreciate, I can appreciate this. OG figures. And this is more like when he is doing more moves, he is flying or doing something more. And this is his second hairpiece, the front hairpiece. It's more like where he is doing a move where he is like going to the side or having a fight with Trunks or, Vegeta. Yeah. And he does come with an extra belt, which is, I haven't tried this yet. It's pretty cool. An extra belt. Let's see. Yeah. Details there. It's pretty cool. Alright. And I'll just grab these two. This is the gun and this is the empty holster. Alright. It's pretty cool. So just pop this in on his holster, on his belt. And the gun, man, the gun looks pretty cool. For how small it is, the little detail in there. Nothing crazy, nothing. Still pretty cool though. I would like to have had a trigger. Alright, so he does come with more hands. Let's check it out. These are open palm hands where he is doing the blasts. Pretty cool. Nothing crazy here. Like I said, this is an earlier figure, so if anyone knows SH Figuarts, the timeline, the first figure was released back in 09, so not too far after. These figures still look pretty cool. I didn't expect them to release the androids when I started collecting. I was collecting back in 2012, so yeah. Alright, and we have his hand for the gun, where he is holding the gun. Sorry about trying to make sure this isn't, as you can see the detail. And there was his hand on the trigger. Alright. And two of his hands where he's he could be fighting. His posing hands where he is fighting. The whole looks pretty cool. Yeah, the detail is there, honestly, for the time. Of course, nowadays the hands are more detailed, but like I said, like I can appreciate this. Here's some more hands. Where he could be doing a blast, another blaster. Just make sure that it's focused on there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, and the detail is there, man. Yeah, but it's more hands. Okay. More hands here, or he could be grabbing someone, gripping someone, grabbing Vegeta or TN or someone. And the same goes for these hands. These look more like they're gripping something. And the detail here is pretty cool. It's crazy how you could just like see the nail. I'm just trying to focus on that. Sorry. You guys can see the nails there. Alright. Let's go ahead and roll back up. And I want to just go ahead and grab the figure and let's see. Yeah, the articulation here was still good. Move his hands up and down, do a 360. Yeah, and his legs, of course, you can bend up, and I can appreciate all this. Like, this is all stuff that came a little later, but like when the figures first released, they didn't have it like I don't think the detail was there. I don't think the posability had, like, you could do as much posing. You could do more posing with these figures than you could on some of the original ones like Goku, Gohan. Yeah, they were still trying to figure it all out, which is still pretty cool. And of course, if anyone does have the event exclusives, you guys can definitely appreciate that. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and do our first pose right now. Alright guys, so we'll go ahead and do our first pose. Oh wow, I just noticed this. I had no idea, I just noticed this. This is the other hairpiece. Let me zoom in on this. that does go with the figure when he is doing a move. I have no, it was under this, under my tripod. I didn't even see it. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and show you guys. You would put this hair where he is doing like more of a move, or oops, sorry about that. He's moving around. Yeah, so that kind of goes very well. Gotta close this a little more, but yeah, there it is. I have no idea what that is. It looks like glue. Maybe just a QC issue from the factory. Yeah, but sorry about missing that, guys. All right, gonna go ahead and do our first pose, like we always do on camera. Let's see. Let's go ahead and check this out. I'll go ahead and go with a pose with him. I guess with the like the OG boxes, they had a lot of poses, but I know we could do a little more than that. Let's go ahead and show him when he has his gun. Nothing too crazy. Zoom out. Alright. Let's go ahead and grab his other hand. Take this off. And on these, they look very small, or the peg compared to some of the newer figures, like, or even the OGs. Like, these pegs are really small. I'm not really sure why, but it's cool. I just try to be very careful because I don't want to break something, you know. And then you have to replace the whole thing, and it's kind of a hassle within itself. So yeah. Oh wow! And I just realized that his holster fell off. So we're gonna have to go ahead and switch to a different holster since we're gonna use the gun. It's gonna be the holster where he is. His gun isn't in it, so it's gonna pop it in. And let's grab the pistol. Alright. Pretty simple, I believe. You gotta move it in there, you gotta get it in that spot. Okay, there you are. And if it's snug, there it is. His hand isn't on the pistol. Yeah. And I do remember an episode where he does have a gun, and I believe he shoots someone because he starts acting like he's a sheriff, which is pretty cool. But of course, the power went to his head. Well, come on, he's an android. You know, he doesn't have well, he was a human at first, and he became an android. They volunteered to become androids, as you find out later on during the show, which is pretty crazy. It makes me wonder about Dr. Gero. I don't have Dr. Gero or Android 19. Those are some figures I actually have to get in my collection soon. Alright, and let's go ahead and have him pointed up with the gun. Nothing crazy. He is gonna be looking. Put his hand. We are gonna be doing a little more poses on these figures because, like I said, there's a lot of accessories, and I think we can always mess around with that. Let's go ahead and check this out. If you have this figure, let me know what you guys think of it. I want to know even if you have the event exclusive, let me know what you guys think of it. This is a pretty cool figure, and I like it a lot. I want to see what you guys think. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Alright. Yeah, and the pose is pretty simple, nothing too crazy. Just have him holding the gun. And I will be bringing you guys probably Android 18 next, and maybe we'll go back to 16. So yeah, he's still a pretty cool figure. Just in my opinion, like, the figure's pretty cool. All right, and let's see. Let's go for another pose. Let's see. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this so you guys can see it better. Some good poses here, but I'm trying to find a good one because I know that I feel like they should have had just a little more on the poses here. I'm gonna go ahead and go for this one where he is kicking someone. All right, let's go ahead and back up the camera. All right, and did anyone catch that Gogeta that I posted on in my post? I don't know if anyone did catch it. I posted it about maybe within last week. I know I shared it in the last video when I did Cooler, so hopefully everyone did catch it when I talked about that. It's pretty cool. Like, I'm excited to see hopefully Janemba next and some cooler stuff. I want to see what's gonna happen. And I just noticed that in this pose, he doesn't have his whole holster thing on. Let's go ahead and I guess we have to remove that. Let's go ahead and try that here. Alright, so I've never actually tried to remove this. It's pretty crazy. See if I can. I don't want to break anything. Oh, there it is. Just pop it right off. Okay, so you would just remove the whole thing. And let's go ahead and put the holster with the gun on. I do see this kind of coming off a little bit every once in a while. So let's, yeah. Alright. Sorry everyone, I just had to fix the camera. I mean the lighting there. Alright, and we're gonna go ahead and use his original belt. I guess you would just place it down. Yeah, there you are. And just pop him back on. Should be trying to put not too much crazy pressure, but a little bit of pressure. There you are, sorry about that. Alright, there it is. Like, he doesn't have his holster on. Alright. I'm going to have him going like he's doing a punch. We're gonna go ahead and swap his hair out for this. Alright. Take his hair off, and the way you would remove his scarf, you would remove it off this little spot right here. Pop it out. And you apply a little pressure, and I believe you go forward. Alright, there it is. Sorry about that. Alright, you would pop it off. He is held by a peg on the front and the back, a little small one. Alright. And we'll do the same way. Pop it in the peg on the front. I believe you'll hear a little clue. Let me see. I've only done this maybe once. So let's check this out. Sorry. Alright, I heard a little pop. Alright. It's popped in, and then we gotta put the back in. A little peg. You have a little peg back here, okay. A little hole for the peg. Alright, so let's pop it in, and there it is. And we're gonna go ahead and use more of an angry or gritted face for this. Let's go ahead and swap this out. Sorry about that. Alright. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and just pop in the peg first inside the head. I mean inside of the body. This will be a little easier so I don't have to struggle with this. Okay. I just realized that his neck came off. Okay. Gotta pop that off now. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about the whole putting my hand in the camera. Alright. So we're gonna have to go ahead and let's see. There you are. Now it's clicking in. And then we go ahead and pop this in. There, pop in. And we're gonna go for the more the angry gritted face. You know what? Let me see. So I guess you would place this in here first before you pop it in or put it on the face. The faceplate just goes straight in. And here we are. Alright. And there we are. Alright, we're gonna try to go for, like I said, trying to go for this pose. Alright, I'm gonna just have the pose there so you guys can still see it. And the hands we're gonna have him having is one where he looks like he is gripping something, or it could be that he's angry. And it's the same one he has in the pose. Like I said, just be very careful when you're doing this. You just don't want the peg to break, which is kind of sucks. All right, here you are. I'm gonna have his hand swinging back. Looking more over. Let's see. Have his leg extended out. We can have his hand clench his fist, like he's gonna hit something. Let's see. Have his hand going back. Okay. And for this, we're gonna go ahead and use a stand. And let's go ahead and see. We're gonna go ahead and use the CT toy stand like I mentioned before in the last video and other videos too. The Super Saiyan Legendary, Super Saiyan Goku, and even the cooler. And we're gonna use some Gorilla mounting putty. Anyone needs any good putty to use, definitely recommend this. I like using it on most of my figures. Basically every figure in the background has some sort of putty on the feet, and even some poses. I have some of the figures up here, like Goku on the wall. He is using Gorilla mounting putty. So yeah, I just recommend it if you guys need a good something good to use. You know, I've been using it for a couple years now, and I don't have any issues with it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put some putty on the stand so we can hold. I usually don't like to use a little C a part of the stand. I usually don't like to use that because it doesn't always hold well. So that's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys like it or not, but my opinion is it doesn't really work for me. So yeah. Alright, here we are. We're gonna go ahead and put the mounting putty on his side. You know what, I just realized we don't need to use that much because I don't want it to be so noticeable when we're doing the pose. Alright. Sorry about the background noise. I got my rabbit upstairs, my daughter's rabbit, and all our rabbit upstairs making noise. Sorry about that. Alright, and like I said, we're trying to have him looking over, his hand up. Alright, here we are, guys. Here is the pose. Go ahead and have him going down a bit. Let's go ahead and zoom in real quick. You guys can see it better. And there he is. Yeah, sorry about the little wobbliness. That's probably the only downfall about the stand, that he has a little bit of wobble. He does have a little bit of wobble, but it's fine. And of course, this is an eyesore. But like I said, if you're doing it for your display, no one's looking at the back of it. So yeah, but it's pretty cool there. All right, let's go ahead and do another pose. Sorry about that. Let me back out the camera. All right. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and try another pose. We're gonna go ahead and go for the running pose right here. And I can't remember when he did that pose in the show. I'm trying to think. He's trying to outrun, because I know they go pretty fast, him and his sister. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and remove the face. We're gonna use a regular face, more stern face. I don't think he's smirking in that one. So we're gonna have to remove it from this one. Okay. Sorry about the zoom in. Sometimes it doesn't always focus. Alright. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and put it on top. I'm gonna go ahead and do it right here. Place it into the peg. Just pop it in. Alright, there you are. Now we just put it into the pegs. This little sound, you know it's firm. Alright. Pop this in. See, I always like to put it in before the peg. Put it into the peg before I place the faces on, because sometimes you gotta move it around just to get it in, which is gonna be kind of annoying. All right, there you are. It looks like he's in. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and use his hands where it looks like he's more running. Could be a little hassle. I'm gonna go ahead and use these hands. That he's running. Okay. And there's, just pop right in. Alright. Hey, did anyone check out the new the new exclusive from the Tamashii store. They're gonna have a new Goku. It's Ultra Instinct Goku, which is pretty cool. I thought it looked kind of weird. It was he does have like shiny pants. I am gonna post a picture of my post soon. It looks kind of funny to me, but I guess they just keep pumping out the same figures, which can be kind of annoying. I don't really like that they do that. That they keep using the same. Of course, they're not using the same mold, but they're changing the faces, but they are like recycling the same material. I want to see something new. How like most of the third parties are doing. Demoniacal Fit. Our studios with the new Perfect Cell. There's a lot of cool figures that are coming out right now. So I just feel like they gotta focus on, like, Tamashii has to focus on more figures that are like that people want, instead of doing a remake of a figure, which I feel like they should kind of move on from already. So we haven't heard about Dragon Ball Super in a while, so I feel like they need to focus on something else. Yeah. All right, everyone, and he doesn't have his in the picture he doesn't have his holster on, so that's good. His little belt with the holster. All right, I think that's kind of accurate right there. And for this, we are going to be using we're going to have him like lean a little more forward. All right, and bend his leg just a bit. We're going to have his leg back here. His leg's going to be up, and his hand back, like he is running. He is speed running. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and use the mounting putty from Gorilla. You kind of want to use a good amount. Don't have to be too crazy, but just so you could, because he's gonna be standing on one foot. But he is a light figure. He isn't heavy at all, so I don't really think it matters if you use a lot, regardless. All right, I think we're good right there. We'll go ahead and check it out. See if he can hold well. Yeah, he's having issues right now. Okay. Let's check this out. All right, everyone, we got the pose. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I'll go ahead and zoom in just a little more for you guys. So we just bring up the camera just a little more so you guys can see it better. All right. Yeah, he does look like he's running. I did want to lean him just a little more forward, but he just kept falling over, so I was like, I gotta be happy with that. It's pretty good. Yeah. And when you guys if you guys do have the figure, I know you guys can do a lot more poses here. Let me know what you guys done on the poses. All right. Because I know this is an older figure, so I think this is kind of like a staple in people's collections with the Cell Saga. So of course you gotta have that androids in there. So hopefully everyone does have that. All right, and let's go ahead and go with another pose. All right, I'm gonna pop the arms off. We're gonna go ahead and do the crossed arms now, and we're gonna remove the one that came off again. The neck that come off again. All right. Go ahead and remove the scarf. We're gonna go with the original scarf here. And if anyone does have the androids in their collection, I'd like to know what you guys think of them. Do you guys have Android 19 and 20 Jabro? I know they've done third party. They've done some third-party. We're gonna go use his face with a smirk. They've done some third-party. What is that called? Capsules for, or I guess, pods or capsules where they're sleeping in the androids. They've done that many times, and it's pretty cool. I've seen third parties. I've seen them from. Who else have I seen it from? I know there's one, I believe it's Jaxdo has done their own version of it, and I know that some third parties have made them. We're gonna go ahead and put on his, take off this belt and put on the one with his holster. I know Jaxdo has done their own version of the pods for the androids when they finally go into Dr. Giro's lab. I've seen them for 16, 17, and 18, which is pretty cool. I think they're pretty cool, and I know that they've made some third party. I've seen them on AliExpress before. And on this, you would just kind of just pop it into the peg, or pop this into the peg. Just kind of pop it in. Let's show you guys. You just hear the click. Oh, and the gun fell off, the gun holster. Put it in, and you kind of just click it from both sides. I guess it didn't make too much of a click. All right, here we are. I think that's a good pose there too. Just having the cross arms is pretty cool. Yeah, so if anyone does have the androids, do they have the pods, the pods that they use to sleep in while their Dr. Giro is working on them, trying to get the little problems out with them? Let's go ahead and grab another figure here so we can do another pose with the android. Let me go ahead and grab something else real quick. All right, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and add the. I'll go ahead and stop the rotating stand real quick. Go ahead and add the Android 17 here. All right. And since we are doing poses, I thought it would be nice just to pull these out. That'd be next on in the next coming reviews. The OG Android 18. And of course, the OG Android 16. Thought it fit very well just to have all three of them together for this pose. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and start the stand. Yeah. Go ahead and zoom in on them. Yeah, they look great together. I'll go ahead and raise the stand just a little more. Sorry, raise the camera just a little more, sorry. Yeah, just seeing them all together looks great. Go ahead and zoom in just a little more so you guys can have a better view. Let's go ahead and pick up the camera just a little bit. I guess it's kind of harder now because you got Android 16 here. Yeah, man, but all of them together look great. If you guys do have these in your collection, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have the event exclusives? Do you feel like these are more better colored? Let me know what you guys think. I'm a huge fan of them, just because of the show. You know, they're pretty cool. And of course, Cell and Perfect Cell, you know, all the forms that do come. Hopefully, they do release a second Cell. That'd be pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and get our next pose. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take them off. Let's go ahead and zoom out. We're gonna do another pose with the Android 17. I'm gonna have him where he is, I guess, fighting. Let me go ahead and bring the camera. I mean, the light just a little closer. Alright. I'm gonna have him take off the crossed arms. We're gonna go ahead and take off the belt as well, the holster, the whole belt. Alright, you kind of just pry it out. Alright, let me zoom in on that so you guys can see it better. Just kind of just pry it out and then it just falls right out. It's actually pretty simple. You don't gotta apply a lot of pressure here. Alright, so look, his it's falling right off the gun holster. I'd say definitely put some tack in there so you could try to hold it in general. Let me zoom out so I'm not there. Alright, apply a little pressure. Go here. Alright. It's kind of hard to get in here. There it is. Pop right back in. Then we got his hands. Let's go ahead and see what kind of pose we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and use this fist hands. Alright. I know it can be a kind of a pain to try to take out the hand sometimes. It's kind of a hassle. Alright, we are using his right hand. So pop this back in. His other hand. The peg can be very small and it could be something bad. You don't want to break it and then have to replace a whole peg, or you just never know. Alright, so pop the hands right back in. Let's see. There it is. Pops in. Grab the other hand. And it should be the same thing. Alright, I didn't hear the pop. Let's go ahead and do that. There it is. Alright, and we're gonna go ahead and use a different head. Use a different head for this this pose. We're gonna use the one where he's moving around a little more. Let's go ahead and pop that in. Let's see. Alright, now we'll just go ahead and start from the back. Good. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Just go ahead and move it right here. Where he is popping it in, and there's the peg, and there we are. Right. Sorry about going off a little bit right there with the camera. Just trying to find just moving around and make sure I'm on camera here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and use, like I said, his face, his head, and his scarf when he is moving around, when he is fighting. We're gonna try to go for a fighting pose here. I want to show you guys. Alright, so like I said, I do like to prefer to pop the peg in before I put the face plate on side. On the front. It's a lot easier for me, so I don't have to keep moving it around or missing it. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and give him. See, let's go ahead and put his hand up just a little bit where he is fighting. Or he's gonna take a swing at someone. I'll show you guys right now. It's a special guest. I didn't really want to. I decided to do it when I added the androids. Alright. Go ahead and turn his body just a little bit. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and use some mounting putty, like I said. Use one of the stands here. Wrap it up. It's always a lot easier this way. You don't have to use too much because he is a smaller figure, so he's going to be holding well. Sorry guys, I'm moving the camera the lighting so I can have a better light. Alright, so we're going to have him right about here. Alright, I think that's about good. I'm going to go ahead and put him on the stand. I think that's good right there. And we're gonna bring in a special guest, which I posed him just a second ago. We're bringing Piccolo, and we're gonna go ahead and put the stands together by using some mounting putty on the in between, and in between them and on the bottom, so the stand doesn't fall over. Just trying to create a nice pose. I'm not exactly sure if it's gonna go well or not. Hopefully it does. Alright, everyone, went ahead and mess around with move the stand a bit. Just decided to put them all together. Let's go ahead and see how this goes. Alright, I'll go ahead and zoom in on this. You guys can get a good look. And sorry about the stands being all wobbly. I thought it would be pretty cool just to see these guys together. I thought about bringing Vegeta in, but I decided not to because I'll go ahead and do that with Android 18. Yeah. And of course, we know that these guys do fight off before Android 17 is absorbed by Cell. So yeah. Yeah, and I definitely recommend anyone who does have these figures go ahead and pose them really well. Like, you can mess around. You know, posing is not easy. Shout out to Poncheezy. Posing is not easy. It's really hard. Takes time, and sometimes you're just doing a shot for about a minute, and that's about it. I guess depends on your time. You know how much time you have. Yeah. I think that's a good pose right there. Show you guys just a little more. I think I did pretty good there. Alright, everyone, let's go ahead and take these guys off. go ahead and zoom out. All right. Let's go ahead and swap the faces, the heads. I want to take out the scarf too and just put his original scarf back on there. So does anyone have this? Does anyone have the event exclusives? If you do you prefer these colors versus the event exclusives, or do you prefer the original? Me, I actually like the event exclusives, the color wise, but I prefer the OG for the. I prefer the OG because they have more accessories. The exclusives actually took out most of their accessories out, which kind of sucks. I didn't like how they did that, but I guess that's how Tamashii finds their way to be able to keep, like the. It keeps people still wanting to get the original, because I know, like I said, the original has more parts. Like the I don't have it, but I had the grade 8, but I don't have the event exclusive. It took out. I know they replaced a certain amount of. They took out Yajirobe. They removed a lot of good parts, a part of the figure, and they removed Goku from where grade 8 is actually gripping him. So that's what I don't like about the re-releases of the figures. They kind of just remove some great pieces, which I think you do need, but I guess it depends on the person who collects them. So I don't know, me, I prefer to have the original just because all the parts, but I can appreciate the event exclusives because of the more updated faces and the color scheme, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. Let me go ahead and remove the stand. All right, everyone, go ahead and do the size comparisons now. Let's go ahead and bring in Android 17. All right, and as we did see, go ahead and put his twin sister next to him, 18. This is a size comparison. Hopefully you guys are excited to see all this with the androids. Let's go ahead and bring in Android 16. I think he should be a little taller. I honestly believe him and the Android 16 should be a little taller, but I'm still happy for what he is. I'll bring in Piccolo, and he's up there height-wise. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see this a little better. All right, and let's go ahead and remove these two and bring in another special guest, which we will be doing a review on soon, hopefully, if anyone's still watching. Let's go ahead and bring in Perfect Cell. Alright, sorry about that. Try to get his feet straight. And I honestly feel like Cell should be way taller than that. If you watch the anime, Imperfect Cell is tall, and I feel like Cell should be taller. Perfect Cell should be taller, yeah. But it's still pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. This is the original, and let's go ahead and bring another figure in. Let's see. Let's bring the last figure, which would be Wolverine, the Marvel Legend. He does tower in comparison to the rest. I feel like this is what I feel like his height should be where Perfect Cell should be at. Maybe a little bit taller, but yeah. I still think they're still pretty cool. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Move the camera around just a second. Alright, so where I'm at is that they need to make him just a little taller, Perfect Cell. So I feel like 17 and 18 are pretty good. Alright, now I'd like to know everyone's opinion. What did everyone think of the review? If you had a positive thing to say, go ahead and leave that. If you had a negative thing to say, go ahead and leave that as well. Just trying to move up on reviewing figures and tell me what you guys think. I always like to hear from you guys. Yeah, so overall, I'm going to say that Android 17, the OG, which I feel is better just because of like little small parts of shading, nothing crazy, and he does have more accessories, so that's the pretty cool thing about him. and the posability is still great for a figure that is old. It's about 11 years old. It's still a great figure. In my opinion, I think everyone should have this in their collection or the event exclusive. But either or, I still think they're great figures, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and give this figure a solid 9 out of 10. He is great. I like the... Of course, I feel like he should have more shading in his face, but posability, the scarf, pretty cool. He's pretty good. I love the colors. The colors are pretty popping, so that's my opinion on that. So if anyone is watching and if you do have the figure, tell me what you think of it. Do you prefer this one? Do you prefer the event exclusive? What is your preferred figure? Like I said, mine's is the OG, but I do appreciate the event, and yeah, that's what I think of it. But let me know you guys if you guys plan on getting the androids, if you are collecting them inside of your, if you try to collect the Android Saga. Of course, we got Cell. We have so many different figures that go in the Android Saga with along next to Cell, because Imperfect Cell comes later. Of course, we all see that happening. It's still a good saga. Both are good sagas. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all the love I've been getting lately. I've been seeing the Hulkbuster video blow up. It's been great to see. If anyone is interested in any other figures that I do have, just let me know what you guys think. You guys want to see something different? If you guys like Marvel, if you prefer more of the Dragon Ball Z stuff, I'd like to know your opinion. And thank you guys for watching. Super Saiyan Sanchez out.